Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is KJ Hamus, and joining me today is my lovely, lovely sister-in-law who is serving as my yoga assistant. So I'm really excited to have her back. I apparently did scare her off last week, so yay for that. I'm really excited about today's practice as we're getting into going back to our chakra series, and tonight we're going to be focusing on our Anahata chakra, which is our fourth chakra and is our heart chakra. Our heart chakra, Anahata, is located in the center of our chest, so where the ribs meet, roughly around your sternum. The color green is often associated with our Anahata chakra. And what's really beautiful about working into our heart chakra tonight is we're preparing for an interesting week coming up, if you will. And I think it's time for us to devote stillness and devote space to cultivating practice in our own lives, in our own selves, so that we may be able to start to devote love and compassion and even forgiveness to those around us. And that's what we'll be working with when we talk about our Anahata chakra. Tonight we'll be starting with a meditation that I learned from Dr. Chelsea Jackson Roberts. It's the Chittakash meditation that comes from the Swami Jananda lineage. And so that is a very heart-opening, heart-led practice, breathing practice that will get us centered and be able to lead the rest of our practice from our heart and start to move into the place of love and compassion. Especially with all of our practice, but especially as we're working into our Anahata chakra, I really encourage you to listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your emotions, and resource yourself as necessary. So if anything starts to come up that is triggering or just too much right now, walk away, get some water, maybe walk out of the room, come back. Just do what you need to do to support yourself, because that too is coming from a heart-led place. So with that said, I have talked enough about that, and I'm sure I'll talk more about it. But let's go ahead and begin by finding a comfortable seat in your space. Feel free to sit up on a cushion, a blanket, a towel, even a block. And you can even begin to move back to the wall here to help support your spine nice and tall. Let your hands be wherever they'd like to be. Finding a soft point for your gaze or closing your eyes. And as you're ready, I will invite the bell to bring us into our practice, into this space as we work into our Anahata chakra. Inviting your breath in here, starting to let go of your day, taking a deep, slow breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Working in your individual rhythm, inhale, deep, slow breath in. And a deep, slow breath out. One more time, full breath in. And then as you exhale, sighing it out. Welcoming yourself into space and time. Your space being here and your time being now. As you start to orient in your practice, let your breath move in its natural rhythm as we take a moment here to pause and to honor the stewards of the land who come before us, remembering that we are guests on the land which we currently reside. Here in Washington, D.C., we are guests on Anacostan land and Piscataway land. And we take time to pause and to honor the roots and the lineage of yoga, reminding ourselves that the practice of yoga means unity. It's a practice of liberation and freedom that has been passed down from the first and earliest practitioners of the subcontinent of India. As you are here, begin to just observe your breath, observe your body, and notice what is coming up. What are you bringing with you onto the mat? Especially as we're working from a place such as our heart, it is important to know what emotions are accompanying you tonight. And as you start to name your emotions, name your feelings, I invite you to do so from a place without judgment, without shame, without fear. Because what you're feeling and bringing with you is valid. We don't have to be always positive and perky when we come onto our mat or when we tune into our breath, because that's not life. It's important to begin to accept where we're at in this moment. As you notice your breath in its natural rhythm, use this time to set your intention or your focus for your practice, your sankalpa. I will invite us all tonight to set an intention of being open to love, compassion, and forgiveness as we work within our Anahata chakra. Letting go of your intention, maybe just placing it off to the side. Start to move your breath and direct it in and out from your heart space. So our heart space, our chakra, is located at the center of our chest, where our ribs meet. You can always bring your hands to that place if you feel called to do so. Hands can always stay on your knees. Either way, finding your energetic circuit here. And just become familiar with the energy coming from your heart. Maybe you're feeling a bit more closed off, a bit more protective in this space. Maybe you're feeling a bit more open, a bit more free. Remembering that wherever you're at, it's valid. And so oftentimes we think of the mind as the ruler of our body. It can be loud. It's at the crown of our head, it's at the top. But in Chinese medicine, the heart is actually the queen. The heart is our supreme ruler. And so tonight, as we continue to work in our Anahata chakra, think about leading from your heart. On your next inhale, breathe deeply into your heart space, into the center of your chest. taking in as much breath as you can so you can find a pause and retain your breath without struggle. And then as you're ready, taking a deep, beautiful, exaggerated exhale and feel your breath travel from your heart space up through the crown of your head out to the space above. Inhaling, breathing into your heart, slow and steady. Taking in as much air as you can and pausing without struggle. And then creating a ha sound in the back of your throat. Send your breath slow and steady up through the crown of your head. Continuing to breathe through that rhythm. Starting to count maybe 5 full rounds, 5 full cycles of breath. Breathing into your heart space with your pause. And breathing out through the top of your head, through the crown of your head. And as you breathe up to your crown chakra, to the space above your head, that is known as the Chittakash space. And that is the space where we start to breathe into the greater intelligence, the greater love that surrounds us. And this meditation is a way to start to meld our own internal love of our heart, our internal compassion, with that of the love of the greater intelligence that we all possess. Taking one more cycle wherever you're at, breathing in through your heart space, breathing out through the crown of your head. Your next inhale, start to move your breath back to your heart space, breathing in through your heart and breathing out through your heart. And then on your next inhale, breathe into your heart, slow and steady, with your pause, your retention. And then this time, as you exhale, breathe out through the crown of your head, letting your consciousness rest at the crown in your Chittakash space. Pausing here. Still breathing. And then as you return your breath back to your heart space, melding the two. The option here to keep your eyes closed if that calls to you, staying with your breath, moving your breath in and out from your heart space. Option to just slightly open them and find a soft point for your gaze. As you're ready, start to just take some natural shoulder rolls. Maybe your shoulders move one at a time. They can move in opposite directions, or you draw them both in one direction and then the other. Nice and gentle here. Noticing any kinks that are coming up. Taking a few more. And then meeting back through center. As you inhale, draw your arms out to the side and try and sit a little farther in front of my fabulous sister-in-law, Leah. And we're gonna sit up nice and tall, draw shoulder blade, your scapula down your back. Then as you inhale, work to bring thumbs down to the earth without letting your thumb go too far behind. Internal rotation of your shoulder. As you exhale, open your palms up as if you're working to serve a platter. External rotation. So keeping your shoulders away from your ears, just gently move through that space. Inhale. And exhale. Your arms might be getting a little tired. You might be feeling a little crampy as we move between internal and external rotation. That's okay. Just take a couple of breaths. That's totally normal. And breathe. So some of the main physical charge points as we work in Anahata Chakra are obviously our heart and our circulatory system, but also our shoulders, our ribs, our pectoralis minor muscles, and the rhomboids in our back. So all the fun places we're going to hit today. Take one more round to inhale. And then exhale. This time as you inhale, reach your arms up long overhead. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Bring the left hand down to your left knee. Right hand can come behind you, sitting up nice and tall, feeling your breath lift up your spine. So gentle is a relative term, and that's going to depend on what you need today from your twist and how your body's feeling. So as you inhale, maybe you take a space back toward neutral. And as you exhale, just open up, never forcing your body to go where it's not ready to, where it doesn't feel right, where it doesn't feel nourishing. Take one more deep inhale here. And exhale. This time as you inhale, take your back hand, reach it up and across. And as you exhale, place your right hand down on your left knee. We'll start with a big hug. Inhale, hug yourself, lift your arms up. And as you exhale, round your back, dome it in, draw your hug down to the earth. As you come up, inhale, reach arms up long overhead. And then exhale, twist to your other side. Bringing your right hand down to your left knee, left hand will come behind you. Finding your length, your straight spine. Inhale. And maybe on your exhale, you open just a little bit more. Think about leading with your heart space, leading the movement from your mid-back. Not worried about so much how the movement looks, but how does it feel? Are you able to continue to move with your heart? And show yourself some compassion and love tonight. Take one more breath in and breath out. As you inhale, reach your left hand up and over. And as you exhale, set it down. Coming into your big hug, inhale, lift arms up. And exhale, round back, dome in. Let's move through that on your breath. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, twist over to your right. Inhale, back hand up and over. And as you exhale, cross. Big hug option if you'd like, or eagle arms lift. And then exhale, round. It's great that there's two of us because we can show multiple options. Inhale, reach arms up. And then exhale, twist. Inhale, back hand up and over. And exhale, down. Big hugger, eagle arms. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. We're going to move through that twice more on your own breath. Take your time. I'll guide us through this first one, but move at your own pace as you exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Big hugger, eagle arms. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, down. Big hug, eagle arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Last time, both sides on your own. Feel free to close your eyes here. As you finish meeting back in your comfortable seat, let your arms release any movement that feels good. Hopefully you're starting to feel an opening along your heart and along your back. We're going to move onto our belly. If being on your belly doesn't feel nourishing tonight, it doesn't feel great, I'm going to invite you to stay seated, because what we're able to do, you can do from a seated position as well. So I'm going to ask Leah to move onto her belly. What can be nice about the belly is it can calm the heart, as well as also feel protecting the heart. And the rhomboids, if we think about it, are the back door to our heart. So we're going to start to not only open that up throughout our practice, but strengthen it as well. So bringing your arms long by your sides if you're on your back. I'll demonstrate that first. And if you're staying seated, one moment. Squeezing your legs together, pressing them into the earth. As you inhale, start to pull your back muscles together, lifting from your heart as you inhale. Notice how her neck is nice and long. It doesn't have to be super strained. We just want to keep the neck muscles engaged, and you don't have to come up super far. On your next exhale, you're slowly using momentum, using your muscles, going to lower down. So we're opening up our Shalabhasana that way. So if you're on your belly, Leah's going to take that several more times here on the breath, letting your heart and lungs fill up, as well as moving and using your muscles. If you're taking this seated, you're going to start to bring your arms behind you. As you inhale, squeeze shoulder blades together. Palms do not need to touch. Open heart, and maybe even lean forward just a little. And then as you exhale, gently lower down, keeping shoulder blades down as much as they can without also straining the neck. So inhale, squeeze shoulder blades back together as if there's a blocker or space in between your hands. And slowly lower. And then exhale, rise on up. Keep moving here. We're going to take that twice more in whatever variation you are taking. Inhale. And then exhale. Last time, inhale. And then exhale. Beautiful job wherever you're at. Maybe rock your head from side to side. Take what movement would feel good to you. And then from here, on your next breath, come into your tabletop shape. We'll be here just briefly. Curl your toes under. Walk your hands back. You start to find your way on up to a forward fold. It's a great way for those individuals who are pregnant, like myself, to stand up. So now we will all know that as well. As you come into your forward fold, feet can be hips-width distance apart. Knees, I recommend bending as much as you can. Depending if you're doing a lot of sitting, this might feel really tight in your hamstrings, and it might feel really tight in your back. And I should have mentioned at the beginning, but Leah has given me permission just to maybe place my hand on her body, not as a way to correct or adjust, but just as a way to showcase things. So we'll continue to breathe here, letting our head hang nice and heavy. You might feel like you want to shake the head yes, shake your head no, and even let something go. Take one more full round of breath here. And then on your next inhale, nice and slow, begin to roll up one vertebra at a time. Even as you're rolling up, letting the vertebra guide your heart is still filling up. We're breathing in and out through the heart. And as we get to the top, letting your breath shine front to back, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a full breath in, feeling the earth beneath your feet. And as you breathe out, breathing out from your heart space. We'll take 4 half sun A's, leading with our heart, but move nice and slow. How can you take this movement from a heart centered, from a place of love, and from a centered place of compassion for yourself? As you inhale, reach arms long overhead. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Lead with the heart, flat back. Awesome. Bend through the knees as you come down. Inhale, lengthen, shine crown of head forward. Hands come to shins. Exhale, fold. We'll take our heart leading back up. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reset to Tadasana, mountain pose. Find length in your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lead with your heart, hinge and fold. Beautiful, everybody. As you inhale, send breath out through the heart. And exhale, fold. Maybe this time from crown of head down to earth. Inhale, heart-led, reach up, look up. And exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Twice more on your own, slow and steady. As you move through these shapes, notice how you're adjusting to your body tonight. Can you start here to accept your body as it's showing up? Can you accept the body that you have right now? Begin to work toward that. We'll take one more. Half sun A, awesome. As you move through this last half sun A, no rush. We'll all meet back in Tadasana. And we'll breathe here. I'm going to have you move up to the top of the mat. We're going to move into a variation on a sun B. So as you inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, sit low. Think about finding length in your spine, and that can mean a lot of different things. That can mean tucking the tailbone under. That can mean drawing your ribs together. There's no one way to make a pizza. There's no one way to do a yoga shape. If I'm making a pizza, it's better than saying skinning a cat. So we're going to go with making a pizza. Breathing here. I'm going to have Leah turn around so we can see. Sit in your chair. Find your breath. You can even come out of your chair a little bit. As you inhale, you're going to bring your right hand behind you and your left hand also behind you but below. Press the top of your head into your upper arm. Notice here how Leah's hands aren't touching. Guess what? They don't have to touch. That's just working with your range of motion in your shoulder. So if you think your hands have to touch and you're doing something wrong, I'm going to invite you to just move that along because that's not a loving space to be. This is a great space to be because she's working with her shoulders. She's understanding and listening to her body. If you've got a towel, you can place a towel in between your hands, or as you can see she's doing, she's reaching for her shirt. Thank you so much. I'm going to have you turn back around the other way. She's fabulous, everybody. She really is. Take a deep breath in. Press the top of your head into your hands. Keep your hands where they're at. As you exhale, fold forward. And when you get down to the bottom, release. Awesome. Inhale, flat back, lengthen long spine. As you exhale, plant hands, move into your downward facing dog, inverted V shape. So as we think about this, where is the center of our chest guiding us? Where is it leading us? In this V shape, in this inversion, we're thinking about our heart meeting our legs. It does not actually have to touch again. Breathing into your shoulders, feeling your shoulder blades move, but also being natural. So we're not forcing anything down, but if they're really close to the ears, we're just going to be like, okay, we'll adjust. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, step your right foot in between your hands. As you exhale, drop your back knee down to the ground. Uncurl your back toes, bring your legs to a 90-degree angle. As you inhale, lift your upper body up and cactus your arms, squeezing shoulder blades together. So feeling as if your heart is opening from this space. Take a deep breath in. And as if you're closing a door, exhale, draw your hands together. Feel your shoulder blades spread across your ribs. Yeah. Inhale, open up, squeeze. Lead from your heart. Let light shine from your heart. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's take that twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale, bring it back together. From this space, as you inhale, bring your left arm underneath your right, eagle arms, or a really big hug. Awesome. I'm going to do eagle arms. Lee's going to take a big hug. Again, this is why it's great to have two of us. I may never go back to just demonstrating as one human. So we're going to be here. Think about our shoulder blades moving away. We're opening up through our back, our rhomboids, the back door to our heart. Our neck is nice and long. Our shoulders are not connecting with the neck. They can still be friends, but they're practicing some social distancing right now, okay? Breathe here. Let's take 5 more breaths. One thing I want to point out, I'm going to have Leah come back into eagle arms. Stay where you're at, just a brief moment. You'll notice the 2 variations, palms touching, palms not touching. Nothing wrong with either variation. You're still doing the exact same thing. And again, I'm going to point that out just because we think there's one way to do it. There's not. Thank you. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, plant your hands and gently move back into a child's pose. However you choose to get there. Let's take 3 breaths. Thinking now, as you are breathing, how can the ground support your heart? So we're noticing the connection of our body with the earth. How can we feel the connection and let the earth, let the element of earth connect with our heart? We'll take 1 more breath in and breath out. On your next inhale, curl your toes under. As you exhale, lead with your hips downward facing dog. Taking what you need, widening out your stance in your feet. And breathe. On your next inhale, look in between your hands, maybe just with your eyes, not so much with your neck. Keep that in line. And then as you exhale, slowly have your feet make their way to meet your hands at the top, however you choose to do that. And we'll meet in our forward fold. Leading with your heart, inhale, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit your hips back first as you lift. Awesome. Think about pressing your knees out just a little bit more. Don't apologize. Sometimes you got to come out of a chair. You're like, that's a lot of my legs. That's cool. There's no apologies in yoga. There are, but not right now in this practice. We're going to breathe. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stand tall, mountain pose. Awesome. Let's move to the other side. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Take 2 breaths here. Again, how can you shine your heart forward? Even consider maybe bringing a bit more weight back into your heels. See if that helps your heart feel as if it's pressing forward. On your next inhale, left hand comes behind, right hand comes under. So both internal and external rotation of the shoulders. Remember, you can use your own shirt as a power tool here, as an extension of your arms. Take a deep breath in, press head into top hand. Keeping your bind, exhale, hinge and fold forward, releasing hands as you reach the bottom. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen, flat back, heart led. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Finding your length, finding your heart space. On your next inhale, step your left foot in between your hands. And then as you exhale, drop right knee down to the ground, uncurling toes, coming into your 90-degree angle. As you inhale, bring up, cactus your arms once again. So think as you cactus your arms about your shoulder blades. Again, shoulders and ears, social distancing, but our shoulder blades are in the same circle. They're coming together. I feel really good about these jokes. They're probably not. So apologies if they're not. We're just going to move past them. Take a breath in. As you exhale, spread shoulder blades, bring arms together. Yeah. So notice how even if you're rounding your back as you spread shoulder blades, the rest of your spine doesn't go with it. We're just working into our scapula. Beautiful. Inhale, open up. Exhale, close. Awesome. Take that twice more. Find your breath. Shining in and out of your heart, breath moving in and out of your Anahata chakra. Last time. And as you exhale, close. So staying here, as you inhale, eagle arms, right arm over top, or big hug. Again, shoulder blades, no matter which variation, are spreading across your rib cage. So we're working into our rhomboids. Let's take 2 more breaths. And in this moment, how can you send yourself a little bit more love and compassion? How can you use your breath to start to let go of that which is not serving you? Take a breath in. As you exhale, plant your hands and find your way to your child's pose. So noticing too how you're feeling emotionally as you're coming into this portion of your practice. We've been doing a lot of heart opening and working to really strengthen the back door to the heart. So if it feels good to have your arms out and it doesn't feel too much exposure on your heart, leave them there. But if it does, bring your arms behind you. Think how just that little bit may be able to create an even braver space for you to be. We'll take 1 more full breath in and a full breath out. On your next inhale, curl toes under and lift hips, downward facing dog. Take what you need here. 3 full breaths. And by full breaths, I mean your full breaths. Not mine, not Leah's, yours. Whatever's going to feel best. And then after your 3 full rounds of breath, as you inhale, look in between your hands, keep your neck in line. And then as you exhale, feet meet hands at the top of your mat. On your inhale, lengthen, heart-led, flat back. Exhale to fold. Reaching arms up long overhead, inhale. And exhale to Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, because I forgot that, and we got to get that in. I'm sure some people are like, no, we don't. But we want to make sure we've, done enough. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, hinge and fold forward. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen, long spine, flat back. As you exhale, step back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right foot goes to the space in between your hands. And as you exhale, drop your back knee. Option to extend your left leg out. Option to keep your feet at 90-degree angle. As you inhale, lift your heart up. Reach your arms up overhead now. And take a breath out. Yeah. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart space. And as you exhale, twist over to your right. So thinking about twisting from your upper back, from your rhomboids here without forcing the twist. Gaze can be straight out ahead of you. If it feels okay, bring gaze to your back shoulder or your back elbow, but only if that feels comfortable on the neck. And even here, how can your heart rotate? How can your heart open to the side? We'll take one more breath in and breath out. As you inhale, gently come back, lift your arms up overhead. As you exhale, plant your hands and come into a wide-legged child's pose. So in our wide-legged child's pose, we're going to come into a twisted mantis, which is a yin shape. So from our child's pose, as you inhale, slide your right hand underneath your left. Let your cheek come down to the mat if you'd like, or keep your forehead. Your left arm can stay straight with a slight bend in it, or straight, totally up to you. Or you can even bring your left hand to reach around your back, coming toward your right hip. That's totally optional. We're gonna breathe here. So this is a yin shape. We're taking a pause in the middle just to take the shape so we can start to open up and work into the fascia of our body. We'll be here for about 2 minutes. Thinking about shoulders, back, and ribs. Breathing mindfully. Breathing from your heart, and maybe even moving the breath from your heart as you exhale up through the crown of the head to reconnect, to remeld our greater intelligence, the greater love from our intelligence with our internal self-love. Finding your breath. Starting even here to slow down. On your next inhale, slowly start to unwind. Taking your time, and as you exhale, come into downward facing dog. And keep the foot around. Yep. Danke. So taking what feels good to you in downward facing dog, noticing how you feel physically and emotionally and mentally here. Take a full breath in and out. On your next inhale, let's step your left foot in between your hands. And as you exhale, drop right knee. Beautiful. Again, back leg can go out longer, or your legs can stay at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, arms will reach up. As you exhale, breathe. Think about keeping your ribs together. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart space. And as you exhale, we'll twist over to the left side. So even here, again, gaze can go straight behind you. Gaze can come to your shoulder, can come to your elbow, but we're just twisting from our upper and middle back. Your low back is going to stay right where it's at. Doesn't mean it's not going to get a little involved, but we don't want to torque that. Take 2 more breaths. Thinking about this as another way to open the heart and engage your ribs. On your next inhale, reach arms up overhead. And as you exhale, move into your wide-legged child's pose, taking your time to get there. We'll move into the other side of our twisted mantis. This time as you inhale, left arm is going to come underneath. Cheek can come down. You can keep your right hand extended, or you can take your half bind. Be mindful of your knees here too, and I apologize for not mentioning this in the first side of the shape. You always place a blanket underneath your knees. You can even place a blanket or pillow behind your seat on top of your heels. Sometimes the extra cushion can feel really, really nice, and it can help you feel supported and ease into the shape a bit more. So using our power tools, our blocks, our blankets, our pillows, bolsters, whatever, as ways to support and nourish where we're at physically in the practice and even emotionally in the practice. We've got about another 1.5 minutes here. Continue to breathe. And your next inhale, slowly unwind. And as you exhale, find your way to downward facing dog. Take your time to get to down dog. Or if you feel you need a tabletop, do that. Whatever's going to feel best for you. And you'll take a full breath in and out. Beautiful. From your downward facing dog, draw your knees down to the earth and come onto your back. And we'll come into bridge pose here, using this really as a place for our heart opening. So as you bring your knees up to the sky, think about your knees being hips width distance apart. And one way to measure that is using your thumb and your pinky finger. So you can bring your knees and your feet, draw your feet in just a smidge, hips width distance. Yeah. Pressing in your hands into the earth. As you inhale, lift hips up to the sky. So this is, back bends are really in a lot of ways heart openers, as we found with Chalavasana. Even though our belly was on the ground, we were using that as a heart opener because our heart would shine forward. Same here. Awesome. Keep hands pressed into the earth. Let your breath come from your heart. Take a deep inhale. Then as you exhale, slowly lower your hips down to the earth. We'll take that twice more. As you inhale, lift up. You have the option to stay here or the option to place a block underneath, moving onto your sacrum. So if you've taken the restorative bridge option, again, both are valid options, so take what's going to feel best for you. Stay here. If you're in a more traditional bridge, have you lift your hips up, take a breath in, and then exhale, lower. Unfortunately, I'm not giving her a choice on this one. I've just removed.
Felt so nice.
I'll put her back into it. It felt nice. Taking your last bridge inhale, lift up. There you go. Go ahead and come on down. Again, advocating for what you need. Taking what's going to feel good, what's going to help you feel most nourished. So while your heart is on the ground, it may not be a super intense heart opener, but it could also be a super intense heart opener, depending on how you're showing up. We're thinking about leading from the heart, leading from our chest. We'll take a breath in, and as you exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the earth. As you inhale, reach for the outsides of your feet, coming into a happy baby. Reach for the outsides of your feet. Peace fingers can wrap around big toes. Hands can even come behind thighs here. You just might feel nice to rock back and forth, massaging out your low back. So from here, coming into a supine tabletop, bring your knees together. Arms are going to start to reach up as we come into our supine tabletop. From here, wrap your right leg around your left, then your right arm underneath your left. Supine eagle pose. So squeeze your inner thighs together. Keep your low back pressing into the earth. If you'd like, you can always bring your toes down to touch and take 3 breaths here. 2. Now your next inhale, unwind, come back into your tabletop shape, supine tabletop. And then we're gonna switch sides. We'll wrap our left leg around and then our right arm underneath our left. And if I said that wrong, just do the opposite side. Again, legs can stay lifted, toes can touch down. Think about squeezing your thighs together. And notice that the knees don't have to touch. It's the act, that isometric movement of just moving everything towards the midline. But the real important thing is that you're leading from your heart. You're breathing in and out of your heart. Take a breath in and out. As you inhale, unwind. And then as you exhale, let everything come down to the earth. Reach arms and legs nice and long. From here, as you're ready, rolling onto your belly.
Most graceful way to do that.
There's no graceful way to roll onto your belly. And we're going to come into our Anahata asana, or puppy pose. So come into a tabletop shape. Notice how your hips are currently stacked over your ankles. Booty may stay in the air. And from here, start to walk your hands out so your heart comes down to the earth. This can be a really nice time to place, I'm just going to do this to demonstrate real fast, to place a pillow or a blanket or a bolster underneath your heart. This is working into your upper back. It's also starting to gently open up your shoulders. And again, open up your heart space. Would you like the pillow there, or would you like it? Yeah. I prefer the pillow there too as soon as I discovered it, so I think that's great. And again, if you're like, this is too much, this is just too much on my heart space, that's okay. It's important to acknowledge that. Come out of the shape. Think about coming into your seated meditation and coming back to your Chitakash breath, breathing into your heart with the pause, and then breathing out through the crown of the head. We'll be here for 3 minutes total. So even as you're here, your breath is starting to slow, your mind is starting to soften, and hopefully your heart space is starting to soften. How can you send yourself some love and compassion in this moment? Right now, this is your space. And the only person you need to send love and compassion to in this moment is yourself. And your next round of breath, slowly start to come out of your shape. Invite in any movement that feels good or a stillness that is going to call to you. Whatever you choose to take, we're going to meet back on our bellies. As we're going to come into our mummy pose. Little Halloween action going on for those of you who celebrate Halloween. Main purpose is to stretch out our rhomboids. So you bring your arms nice and long in front of you, almost as if you're coming into Sphinx pose, hands at an 11, lifting your heart up to the ceiling. So bring your elbows back just a smidge. Yeah, there we go. Let's start to move into our left side, our more passive side, our moon energy. From here, bring your left arm underneath your right and lower your heart down to the earth. So several options here. First option is you can extend your right arm out, half mummy. You can bend at your elbow, bringing your hand to use as a pillow, sleeping mummy. Or you can extend both hands across your body, palms can face up or down, for mummy attempting to give itself a hug. Maybe today though you're like, I really need a hug. So hands can come closing off the inner circuit for mummy giving yourself a hug. You'll be here. Forehead can always rest on a block, blanket, whatever you need. Yeah, thinking about working into your rhomboids. Be here for 2 minutes, finding your breath. And your next round of breath, slowly unwind, coming back up into your Sphinx pose. We're going to move on to the other side. That's it. This time, right arm coming underneath your left. Left arm can go straight, half mummy. Left arm can bend, sleeping mummy. Arms can stretch across the body for mummy attempting to give itself a hug or actual hug. Up to you, 2 minutes here. Try not to smack your hands on your floor. It doesn't feel very good. So here in this moment, what are you noticing about your breath? What are you noticing about the openness of your Anahata chakra? As you work through the physical high charge points in your body, as maybe as you started to open them up, letting your fascia release. What's arising? What sensations are coming up? Our fascia is our own internal communication system. it holds on to things that we might still be working through, things we haven't been able to let go of, or even past ancestral trauma. So by working and holding shapes, creating space for that to release. It might take a little while for it to release. It may not be instantaneous. It could be a lot of other work, but it's things to notice. In your next round of breath, slowly come out of your shape and move into a brief puddle pose. And just pause here in your brief puddle pose to notice how you feel. The sensations of your body. Take 2 more full breaths here and out. As you're ready, extend your left arm long out to the side and then bend at your elbow, letting your elbow almost come out directly from your shoulder, give or take. From here, we're going to focus on our upper body, not so much on our lower body as we come into our broken wing. So start to roll onto the left side of your body. Right hand's going to plant underneath your shoulder, bending your knees, stacking them one on top of the other. Beautiful. And I'm going to place a block under Leah's head just so she doesn't have to come all the way down to the earth. So in our open wing shape, in this variation, we're working into our pectoralis minor muscle, which, as I mentioned at the beginning, is one of the high physical charge points of this chakra. Your right hand can stay bent. It can release. It can even come behind you. Whatever's going to feel best. Do be mindful of, though, your shoulder joint. If you're feeling a lot of pressure on the bone, on the joint, place a towel underneath there, or even like the end of your pillow. If that doesn't seem to do it, then roll back your heart a little bit towards the ground, releasing out of the shape. Our pectoralis minors are more of an internal muscle, so it's very possible that your pectoralis minor is really tight. And if you're opening up super far, you could be stretching it way too much, getting it into a pain point. Also, a reminder, our emotions do play a role. So if you're feeling, you're like, I'm normally able to open, and it's also possible that your emotions and your body are going, hey, hold up a second, we're not ready to go that far. That is a good thing to listen to. How are you feeling? Okay. Be here for about another minute or so. Since our pectoralis minor is such a smaller muscle, we don't want to force it open, but maybe you return to this particular shape later on in your weekend, or even next week, especially if you're sitting a lot in front of the computer. That sitting in slouching in front of the computer can be one thing that can even start to close off our heart space too, as our muscles become shorter. As you're ready, slowly release out of this shape. We'll move on to the other side. So this time, bending your right arm so your elbow and shoulder are roughly in one line. Your left hand will come underneath your left shoulder as you roll onto the right side, letting your knees stack one on top of the other. Head can always come to a block or a pillow just to help support lifting your neck, keeping it in line. Yeah, feeling this more or less in this region of your body. Slowing your breath. Just being here in this moment. On your next rounded breath, slowly unwind from your shape. From here, you'll roll onto your back for a brief puddle pose before we move into our final yin shape, designed to target our heart energy line that will run from pinky to pinky and then from sternum up and down. But pausing here, noticing how you feel, as you may feel more exposed. If this is too much, always feel free to go back onto your belly. You can even skip our broken wing shape, which we'll come into now. For broken wing, we'll take it symmetrically. You can oftentimes take it asymmetrically. You'll bring both hands behind you, palms facing down onto the earth. Press your back into your hands. So opening up through your heart, through your chest. The farther up, the more intense the feeling may be. The farther down, the more restorative the feeling may be. Again, totally up to you with what you need. And this will be our final shape. Breathe here. Staying here as long as you need, but as you're ready, releasing your hands and moving into Savasana, final resting pose. Truly taking what you need here. You can always place a pillow or a bolster underneath your back if you'd like to find a more gentle continuation of your heart opening. You can place your pillow or blanket underneath your head, even underneath your knees, rolling onto your belly or rolling onto your side, or even taking legs up the wall, reversing the flow of blood, reversing gravity as best we can. But as you pause here, starting to let go, seeing if you can soften a bit more. And in this moment, in this place of rest, in this place of peace, how can you find a bit of joy? You start to cultivate your joy. How can you cultivate love and compassion for yourself? Beginning to reawaken your senses, inviting gentle movement into your body as you're ready. Slowly taking your time, no rush. Make your way to a comfortable seat. Whenever you find your comfortable seat in your space and your time, pause at the top. As we pause here at the top, decide how you wish to close your energetic circuit, whether that's hands on your knees, hands at your heart space, or in your Dhyana Mudra, palms touching, thumbs touching. And as we move from our practice on our mat, one has hopefully started to cultivate love and compassion. I invite you to set a sankalpa for the coming week, the coming days, of how you may show love and compassion to those around you and to the rest of the world. As you lift your hands to your heart space, bow your head to yourself here. Taking a moment to thank yourself for making time for your mat and sending acceptance and love to your body as it has shown up and however it has shown up this evening. We take a moment here to send thanks and gratitude to those who joined us tonight to create our virtual community. Be the positive change you wish to see in the world. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you to the fabulous Leah for being my wonderful model / assistant this evening. On Sunday, we'll continue our work on the Anahata Chakra in our yin practice. On Tuesday, I'm offering a special yin and meditation practice at 10 a.m. Feel free to join live if you can, but if you can't, please do check out the video at some point. Hopefully it'll provide you a little bit of grounding and also love and compassion on this coming Tuesday. Next Friday, there will not be a live practice. And next Sunday, so starting next Friday and Sunday, there will be no live practice, but I'll return the following week. Thank you all so much. Have a fabulous weekend.